Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. There has been a goofy amount of fragrances that have been announced over the past week or so. So much so that it almost just took my voice away. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of those fragrances that have been announced that you have to look forward to in the very near future. And there are so many that have been announced that I'm actually going to do another video in a day or so where I talk about some of the other fragrances. Because they're just too many. If I talked about all of them on today's video, this would be like a 45-minute long video or something. So we're gonna split it up a little bit. Today, we're gonna be talking about a new Hugo Boss, a new Christian Dior, pretty big one, pretty huge one. We're gonna talk about a new by Kilian, maybe a Lattafa, Tom Ford, I don't know. Just a lot of stuff. I'll have linked in the description where you can find these fragrances that I'm gonna talk to you guys about here today. In case you wanna get a little more info on those, that's gonna be at iFragrance's website. Again, linked down below. And before we jump into the first fragrance, I wanna give you guys the codes, and there is a new code for Joma Shop. So these codes only work on the Joma Shop app. So you have to get that app. What I would suggest doing is if you're shopping on Joma Shop's website, find what you want, pull up the app, just add that stuff on, and then use the code to save yourself some money. And there are two codes. There's Gents 10 and Gents 15. Gents 10 will get you $10 off any order over $180. Gents 15, $15 off any order over $250. And these are only good through September 18th, so keep that in mind. There are the new Joma Shop codes, and here are all the other codes that you can use across a bunch of other websites. Let's get into the fragrances. All right, the first one we're gonna talk about is the new Hugo Boss. It is yet another Boss bottled flanker coming our way. This one is Boss bottled Absolu, and I actually really love the look of the bottle. And it's not that it's, you know, anything crazy in terms of the look of the bottle or anything like that. I just think it looks nice. This like very slight ambery color down at the bottom and a very quick gradient into a darker bottle. I just think it looks classy, it looks good. I will say though that, man, those flankers are coming hard and fast, aren't they? Because this is another Boss bottle. We already had a Boss bottle flanker release this year, Boss bottle Triumph Elixir. That came out this year in 2024, and here's another. It looks to me like Hugo Boss pretty much skipped the summertime release for Boss bottled this year, which they haven't done, you know, an annual summertime Boss bottled or anything like that, but they do put them out with some regularity. Looks like they just skipped that this year though, because Triumph Elixir, you know, that's a fall wintertime type of fragrance, and it looks like this is going to be the same thing, fall wintertime type of fragrance. So that's an interesting choice to come out with two different fragrance flankers in the same line in the same year for the same seasons, but whatever. I guess I'm not going to complain about getting new stuff, especially since Hugo Boss has been releasing some pretty nice things lately. Let's read about Boss bottled Absolu. Discover the latest member of the masculine line of Boss bottled. The new Boss bottled Absolu is an interpretation of the rugged masculinity of the modern man with an opulent leather accord that intertwines with dry, earthy patchouli, underlined with the irresistible allure of cedarwood essence that brings a powerful woody dimension to the masculine composition. So yeah, once again, we have a fragrance release that is gonna hit us with the 3 note breakdown. Yay, my favorite. Which at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. Some brands choose to do that, others choose not to. But I do usually like to have a little more of an idea from the note breakdown than what 3 notes is gonna give you. So if we look at some of the more recent releases, talking Boss bottled Elixir and Triumph Elixir, as far as fall wintertime type of scents from Boss bottled. If you look at Boss bottled Elixir, that one had incense, cardamom, patchouli, vetiver, labdanum, cedar. So you see some overlap there in the patchouli and the cedar. If you look at Triumph Elixir, that one had a good dose of patchouli as well. And there was also vetiver in there and violet leaf, talking about Triumph Elixir. And that one is a little divisive because anytime you put out a fragrance that uses patchouli like that one does and really kind of puts that at the forefront, you know, some people are not gonna like that, other people are gonna be in love with that. I think that Boss Bottled Elixir is more wearable for more people. I think that's a better choice for more people. When you look into this one, the new one, Absolu, patchouli and cedar stick right out. So the main difference here, as far as just the limited note breakdown, is gonna be that leather accord off the top. So I would wonder how this one leans. I would think it's probably gonna be a little bit closer to Boss Bottled Elixir, between that and Triumph Elixir, which honestly I think is not a bad call, because again, if we're talking about just who it's going to appeal more to, I think Boss Bottled Elixir works for more people than Triumph Elixir is going to. Which I like both of those. I like both releases there, but I think Boss Bottled Elixir has more wearability for more people. So if you do a play off that one, introduce a leather, hopefully really wearable leather accord, then you could get maybe like a more sexy take on Boss Bottled Elixir, something like that. Maybe something that would be a little more of a lean toward like date night usage, something like that. Ultimately, again, we're gonna have to wait on this one and see, because there's not a whole heck of a lot they're giving us from the note breakdown other than just, you know, filler. Rugged masculinity of the modern man with an opulent leather accord. Like, what does that actually mean, you know? By opulent leather accord, do you mean like a soft, sweet leather? You know, very opulent? That's what I would assume. Then you've got dry, earthy patchouli and irresistible cedar. So, yeah, we'll see. Like I said, though, I have high expectations here. So this is, at this point, something where I approach Boss Bottled releases a little differently than maybe I did, 5 years ago. Which is not to say that, they didn't have good ones back then. They did. It's just there were a lot of releases that came out that were very ho-hum. And it feels like with these last number of releases that have come out, including things like Boss Bottled Pacific, that the overall quality of the Hugo Boss Bottled releases stepped up a bit. So Boss Bottled, Absolu, gonna be coming out real soon. We're gonna talk about that really big Dior release in just 1 second. First off, I wanna talk about the new by Kilian coming out called Old Fashioned. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is something I can get excited about. Now, this is the newest release in the Liquors collection from by Kilian, and of course, the most popular release in that line, Angel Share. I mean, yeah. That is huge. Angel Share is everywhere. It smells fantastic. Big compliment puller, and it has spawned 1,000,001 clones at this point. Just every single clone house in the world has an Angel Share clone at this point. Some of them have multiple. Like, that's how crazy it is. It's gotten to the point where these brands are like, we got a clone of that fragrance. It's selling really well. We need a new release. Clone it again. I think we can get more out of it. I need that money. So yeah, there's that. But there are other releases in the line as well that are really nice. Apple Brandy on the Rocks is one that a lot of people enjoy. And then Ginger Dash, I like that one too. But Old Fashioned, that sounds pretty good. Let's read about it. This is an elegant composition that boasts an 18-year aged whiskey beverage with its complex nuances. What? The composition boasts an 18-year aged whiskey beverage? Like you made an Old Fashioned with an 18-year-old whiskey? Or are they saying that they took 18-year-old whiskey and put it into the fragrance? The Liquors collection, exclusive to Kilian Paris, has a number of masterpieces, and they go on to list off some of the fragrances there. Each offering transports the wearer to a journey through time and place. The new fragrance takes us to the Scottish Highlands, by the fireplace of an estate of many generations old. By the fireplace of an estate of many generations old. Okay. Old Fashioned was the joined artwork of perfumer Sidney Lancashire and founder Killian Hennessy. He wanted to mimic the finest, purest whiskey in a single malt, aged to perfection for a couple of decades, exactly like the Scottish tradition. You got me at single malt. So there was a fragrance from by Kilian, single malt. Came out in 2015, highly sought after. That one had plum, vanilla, Tolu balsam, cedar, and it was like sort of a unicorn boozy fragrance for a lot of people. Basically, it was just like one of the ones everyone wanted, and it commanded a pretty decent premium. So I wonder if this is like sort of playing on that. So it looks like the notes here in the top, wheat absolute, Divana essence in the mid, everlasting absolute, what? Cedarwood essence, and in the base, Styrax and Tolu balsam. What is Everlasting Absolute? I'm assuming that's supposed to be like the boozy note. I'm just reading what's on the website here. Okay, looking at another website, it looks like Immortel Absolute, so that makes more sense. Immortel, immortal, everlasting. Is that what happened? I think that's possibly like the line that somehow led it to say that note on the website. I also see here on another website that this is a fragrance inspired by, again, a single malt, and it says Old Fashioned unfolds in time just so, opening like a first incredible sip with wheat absolute and the slightly floral liquored aspect of Divana essence. Old Fashioned then leads into a complex of ultra concentrated cedarwood essence and Everlasting Absolute, that's where it came from, with long-lasting notes of Styrax and Tolu balsam to suggest aging barrels and the misty wooded moors of Scottish lore. Everlasting Absolute, what? It would not surprise me if this is single malt being brought back, because with apple brandy on the rocks, that's kind of what it was. Apple brandy was a really popular fragrance by Kilian, and they brought it back with some tweakage. And that could be what's going on here with Old Fashioned. And I'm here for it. I'm here for that. Either way, if it is a reworking or just a rebottling, a bringing back into a new bottle with the new name or something completely different, none of them matters at the end of the day, because I have complete faith that this is going to rule. And that's what I'm excited about. Is it going to hit on the same level as Angel Share? That'd be pretty difficult, but it's possible. Bring back that single malt action, and you got me. You got me. I will be here for that. Now let's talk about the new Dior Sauvage Eau Forte. This is the first new Sauvage release since Sauvage Elixir, which came out in 2021. Yes, it's been that long already. That's insane. And also, maybe more importantly, this is the first Dior Sauvage done by Francis Kurkdjian. So the previous Sauvage releases, of course, were all done by Francois Dimache. So this is the first new release in the line since everything at Dior was handed over to Kurkdjian, which means this is a fragrance that's going to be highly critiqued for a bunch of reasons. First off, it's a new Dior Sauvage, right? Sauvage is the most popular men's fragrance line in the world. So when you put out something new in that line, everyone is gonna take a look at that with a microscope. Like, everyone's gonna be dissecting every little part of it. You know, is it worthy of being in the line? Is it going to sell as well as the others? Is it a mistake? Is it a triumph? All this stuff. But then even more so, because now this line is being handed off from the person, again, who made it into what it is. It's being taken over by another huge name. And so it's gonna be like, well, how's this gonna work out? Is this gonna be something where the existing formula that has been set, that's been working for years, is stayed with? You know, do you keep it kind of in that style? Or is it something where you just throw that all out and you're like, nope, doing something completely different now? You know, everyone's gonna be looking at this and saying, what's the strategy here? Like, what are they doing? So there's gonna be a lot going on here for sure. A lot of people are gonna be breaking down every little piece of this when it comes out. So let's read about Eau Forte. Oh, and I will say that this is available for pre-order at Neiman Marcus. So I actually already pre-ordered this thing. I'll have it linked in the description in case you want to. But yeah, you can pre-order this already. I think it said that it was gonna ship in August, if I recall correctly. The signature refreshing vibes of Sauvage are now further elevated through the power of water, thanks to the alcohol-free formula of Sauvage Eau Forte. This power is sustained and prolonged. Let's finish the thing before we talk about it. The new fragrance draws inspiration from the powerful facets of water, with Francis Kurkdjian behind the helm. Sauvage Eau Forte combines the freshness of an eau de toilette and intensity of an eau de parfum. This flanker explores a territory of fresh and spicy fougere combinations that are rarely visited in perfumery. The aquatic composition is mixed with perfumed oil, culminating in a highly concentrated formula that's tinted in a milky color. The invigorating blast of water immerses the wearer in crisp notes of spices, aromatic lavender, and musky woods. So the original Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette that came out in 2015, almost 10 years ago. That one really well known for having a very brisk opening, powerful opening. It's got pepper, bergamot, lavender, and ambroxan, good amount of ambroxan, some woodiness, fresh spices in there, lavender as well. It has a bit of a metallic feel to it. But that one has stood the test of time, at least over these past 9 years. It is a massively popular fragrance, great performance, huge compliment puller, great versatility. It's one of those fragrances where your average guy can buy that, wear that in about every situation, and it will work. Now, of course, it has detractors because a lot of people are going to say, I don't like how in your face it is, how aggressive it is, how popular it is, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely has its detractors as well, but its popularity, its success, you can't take away from that. And if I'm honest with you guys, I don't typically get super excited from fragrances that are, flankers, where they're basically saying, hey, we have enhanced this fragrance with the power of water. Because it's just like, oh, okay, great. It just comes across boring a little bit. And I know not everybody is gonna have that viewpoint, but it's one of those things sometimes where if a new fragrance is announced and they go, oh, this is the new aquatic flanker of that thing. It's like, okay, so you're gonna clean it up a little bit. That's cool. Now, sometimes they come across really great after the fact. There have been fragrances made, aquatic type flankers that just crush it and they become amazing releases for summertime. So that could happen. But the first thing that jumps out here is, of course, the alcohol-free formula of Sauvage Eau Forte. There have been a few fragrances that have come out in the designer realm that are alcohol-free, and the majority of them are terrible. At least to me, they are awful when it comes to performance. And a lot of times, actually, the smell is not quite as good either. So just a couple of examples really quickly. Both of these are more of summertime releases. Obviously, the quality is gonna be different between the ones that I mentioned here and Dior, just because of the price difference. There's gonna be a lot higher quality ingredients put into the Dior, but still. Azzaro Chrome Under the Pole, that just is like a very weak version of Azzaro Chrome, essentially. And guess what? That one also has a milky kind of thing going on to it, which I noticed that they say here, that it's tinted in a milky color. So Chrome Under the Pole, that was a limited edition release. You can still find it, but a limited release of Azzaro Chrome. Like I said, smells really similar to the original Azzaro Chrome, only way weaker, way weaker. Like the performance is just not close to the original. And when you spray it on your skin, it leaves like little globs of just kind of milky looking residue. So you'll have like little globs of it when you spray it on, and it doesn't look good, okay? You spray it on, it's like little white pieces of liquid all over your skin. Looks like something was going on that maybe you forgot to clean up. But you can rub it into your skin and it's better for your skin, yay. Great. I see that get mentioned sometimes for fragrances that are alcohol-free. And for sure, there are some people out there who would benefit from that. People have very sensitive skin, maybe spray the fragrance on like a normal fragrance and it dries their skin out or doesn't react that well or something. And that's really who that would be best for, I think. But your average person probably would be like, that's okay. I'd rather have just the normal one that doesn't make it look like somebody did something all over my arm and also actually projects and lasts. That'd be great, thanks. Because they'll say, oh, it's better for your skin, but realistically, how many of us are, going around with a fragrance, blasting it on every inch of our skin, right? You're putting it in a couple spots. It's not like lotion. But anyway, there's that fragrance. There's also Nautica Oceans, which is awful. That fragrance has very poor performance. It smells super cheap, and that's also alcohol free, but it is trash. It's garbage. And I know that Hamidi actually, which is like an offshoot of Armaf, their fragrances are all alcohol free also. So there is like a little movement kind of behind the scenes of some different brands and some different releases where they're kind of seeing, hey, can we do this alcohol-free thing? Is this gonna work? Is this a possibility? This is the largest one that I've seen yet. Obviously, a new Dior Sauvage is pretty big. So that's another wrinkle in this to see, does it work? Because here's the deal. If Sauvage Eau Forte comes out and crushes, then you're probably gonna see a lot of other brands go like, oh, I just came out with the alcohol-free fragrance right here, summertime alcohol-free. Check that out, it's new. Just came up with it, hot off the presses. Nice, you're gonna see that. If it flops, you're probably gonna see a lot of brands pull back from the whole alcohol-free thing, and they're gonna go, yeah, it's been working pretty good this whole time, you know, so let's keep on just doing what we usually do, thanks. So I will give them props for that. This is a big potential boom or bust. I can tell you from my perspective, when I read milky, colored, alcohol-free power of water, blah, 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 that's giving me PTSD, chrome under the pole vibes and making me think, oh God, it's gonna smell like a cheaper, fresher Sauvage Eau de Toilette with worse performance. And I don't care about that at all. Now, like I said, I've already pre-ordered this. So as soon as this starts shipping, I'll get it. But yeah, when I first read this, I thought to myself, oh, that is not really what I was hoping for. If I'm, yeah. Go from Sauvage Elixir to milky, perfume-free, blah, 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 blah. But the notes here are lavender, spices, aquatic notes, woods, and musk. So there's that. Obviously in the original, there was lavender. There were woody notes. There were indeed spices in the original as well. Aquatic notes, no. Musk, no, but ambroxan. This is though the new Sauvage coming out actually already available for sale. Like I said, you're just not gonna get it for a while. Eau Forte, Kirchhoff has decided to take the Sauvage line and put out what I am assuming is supposed to be the summertime Sauvage, which I know a lot of people actually wear the normal eau de toilette in summer, but this is more focused, I suppose. It's a ballsy move. As I said, everybody is gonna be paying attention to this because this is Kirchhoff's first Sauvage. And not only that, but they basically said, heck with it. We're gonna go, you know, alcohol-free with this. We're gonna make it milky colored. We're gonna make it an aquatic. We're gonna make a very simple note breakdown. We're gonna go against everything else. And this is what we're doing. They better hope that it has some performance. They better hope that it has a really attention-grabbing nature to it. Because if this comes out and it performs like the other alcohol-free fragrances that I have, there's gonna be some upset people. There it is, new Sauvage. All right, last but not least, let's talk really quickly about the new Tom Ford Eau d'Ombre leather. Now, I mentioned this in a previous video where it was leaked, but there wasn't information yet about the note breakdown, anything like that. We have that now, so I'm gonna go over that with you. As of when I'm shooting this video, I don't think this is readily available, but I would imagine it will be in the near future. Eau d'Ombre leather by the American House of Tom Ford is an intense rendition of the famed ombre leather eau de parfum. It's a wildly radiant composition fusing rich, decadent amber, cozy vanilla, opulent leather, again with the opulent leather, and invigorating spices, which grant the blend a complex character and an addictive scent trail. Apparently, if you got leather, take opulent and just put that right together. Leather, that's boring, that sucks, leather. This is a opulent leather. Oh, it sounds awesome, sweet. So note breakdown here, pretty simple. Spices, white suede, vanilla, and amber. Again, the dumbing down of no breakdowns. And this does make sense in a lot of ways, the no breakdown, because in case you haven't noticed, vanilla is popular right now. Vanilla, I mean, it's always been popular, right? Vanilla people love. They love to eat it, love to smell it. It is what it is. But especially here over the past couple years, there have been a bunch of releases that have come out that have focused on vanilla, you know, right at the forefront, or have had vanilla in a very large supporting role. And so this kind of comes across like Tom Ford taking one of their most popular fragrances and saying, well, let's go ahead and let's do what's hip right now. Let's go ahead and put some of that in there. That'd be pretty good, I bet. And I gotta be honest with you guys, it'll probably smell pretty good. Yeah, I'm a sucker for vanilla, okay? I like it. I like it a lot. So even though I can look at that and I can recognize, oh, that's just kind of what's trendy right now, that's true. And at the same time, I want to smell that. You're telling me you're gonna take ombre leather, you're gonna add in some tasty vanilla? I'm here for that. I'm not gonna lie to you, I would like that. Ombre leather is one of the most wearable, high quality leather fragrances on the market. That's why it sells like crazy. That's why people buy it like crazy, wear it like crazy. So this is gonna be like a sexier, gourmandy, almost like around the edges take on ombre leather potentially. Yeah, sign me up for that. So while on one side, you could have people who say this is just trendy, you know, flanker crap, you know, it's just following whatever people are doing right now, who cares? That could be true. While at the same time, it could smell freaking awesome. Both of those things could be true. This could be like a trend following cash grab, while at the same time it smells amazing. Oh well, you got me. How dare you do this? Fine, here's my money. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I can't wait. So there we go, guys. There's some upcoming new releases. A new Sauvage is gonna be, it's gonna be talked about one way or the other. It's either gonna be something where myself and other people eat crow, and it's just a killer release, which I would like that. That's my preference. Or it's gonna come out and it's gonna be like, what were you thinking? What? What are you doing? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's gonna be one of those things. It's gonna be talked about. Can't deny that. And then that new Tom Ford, new Boss Bottled, and the Old Fashioned. So a lot of big things coming our way very soon. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I will see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later. Let me know which one you're looking forward to the most.